Hi there, this is Rob Chadwick from ADL, and this is the 14th, I think it's the 14th, in a series of short video productions on how to use the Virtual World Framework Sandbox application. In this video, I want to talk a little bit about scripting, and scripting is a big topic. So I'm not going to get into a lot of details on exactly what code you can write and what code you can't write and all of that. There's a fair bit of complexity to it. What I do want to do is just introduce you to the script editor, show you what the GUI looks like, explain some of the general concepts, and then maybe let you take it from there. And at some point in the future, we'll work on some comprehensive documentation. To begin with, I'm just going to do the simplest thing possible. I'm going to put a very small script on an object to make it spin. In this case, I'm going to select one of my trees. Let's just grab this guy. And I'm going to hit this JS button. All of the scripts in the Virtual World Framework are written in JavaScript. The JS button is going to bring up the script editor. The script editor kind of slides up in a tray at the bottom of the screen, a little bit different than the tray at the side here. You can slide it down. Once you've hidden it, it disappears. You can pull it back up by hitting the JS button again. You can slide it up or back into a window if you need to go full screen. In this script editor, you have two tabs. One is the methods and one is the events. Both of these, for our purposes, are very similar today. I'm not going to talk too much about the difference. You'll see on the side a list of grayed out suggestions. These are kind of suggestions for system-supported special case events or methods. A good example of this is pointer down, pointer up, pointer over. These are events that are kind of fired into your object by the system. Or the tick. I'm going to work with tick right now for a very quick demo. If I want to add a script to an object, I'm going to either click the New Method button down here to create a whole new method, or the New Event button on the Events tab, or I'm going to click on one of the suggestions. When I click on one of the suggestions, it preloads a little bit of code here. Now this code isn't going to do anything, so I'm going to make some code that does something. You guys ready for this? It's very simple. Var rot equals this dot rotation. Rot sub 3 plus equals 0.1. This dot rotation, rotation, equals rot. So I've read out of the object its rotation factor. I've incremented the third part of that, and this is what's called an angle axis rotation. So the x, y, z is the angle, and then is the axis, and then it's 0.1 rotation around that. This isn't going to be the rotation you expect to see on this object. I'm not doing all the math to do smart rotations. I'm just going to make it move, and then we'll talk about maybe the math another day to make the rotations you might want or expect. When I hit Save Method, this object is going to start to spin. Look at that. Let me make it go faster. I'm just going to type right back in here, 0.3, Save Method. Now we can see it's definitely going faster. Why don't I go ahead and go even faster? Now it's going, 1.3 isn't faster than 3, right? I need 1.3. There we go. And we'll save that method. We can see this object is going much faster. There we are. Now what's happened here is it's hit this limit. That's because this math, like I just mentioned, is not the world's best math. But you can see if I use the tool to pull it back, this code causes it to keep on spinning. Very nice. So this is very, very kind of simplest thing we can do. I'm going to make this 0.0, which means it no longer has any effect at all. Now it's important to note that this code is still running. This code just doesn't have any effect on anything. Okay, so that's how you can just animate something over time, right? You change a property over time with the tick method. If I create a new method, let's just call it test, and I'm going to hit the Save Method button, you'll see it appear in the list here. I did that just so that I could show you when I click on it, it loads the code for the given method. So now when I hit the Save Method button, I'm saving test. Now, and you'll see a little blue border here. Now when I hit the Save Method button, I'm saving tick. One thing that is nifty is objects publish their methods to the interface. Let's do function test notifier, capital N, dot alert. Hi. When I hit Save Method, all right, the code for this method is loaded in. When I right-click on the object, whoops, no, I take it back. Let me move this code over to an event. That's probably a good time to talk about this anyway. So I've copied it. I'm going to save it and go to Events. You note that some of these are pointer up, pointer down. But let me continue with my failed example from previously by going to New Event Test, and I'll paste that line of code in here. So again, I don't want to talk about the real differences. Looks like I have a syntax error, actually. I do. I need to put some braces right there. Well, that's what I get for coding while the video is running. So now I've got an event. If I right-click, let me just save event. There we go. So now the test has appeared. If I right-click, I'll see test appears on the right-click menu. And if I call it, it actually does the code that's in there. So that's nifty. Similarly, let's go ahead and go to pointer up. And I'll paste that same line of code. Actually, let's do something different. Let's do notifier.alert high pointer up. Save event. Now I've got this test event that's also going to do something when I right-click, right? So right-click and test. Well, actually, I'm not even going to have to click test, right? Because the pointer up event has fired. Because I clicked on it. So we select none. Now, whenever you click on this object, it says hi, pointer up. Because we associated some code with its event. Also, when I right-click on it, of course I get the hi pointer up, but I also get the test function, which just says hi. So that's the very, very basics of scripting. And scripting is a big topic. We'll talk more about it another time. In this case, let me do one final cleanup. I'm going to delete these events. I'll delete test, and I'll select pointer up and delete pointer up. And now you'll note when I right-click on the object, nothing happens because I've not done anything. Right? There's no pointer up, there's no test, there's nothing to right-click. You don't see any green events in here. And similarly, when I go to method, well, I've got tick here with a 0 effect. I'm going to delete that. Now there's no tick method, and I'll delete the test method, which really I had to move over to an event to make my demo. Let me delete that. And now we have an object without any scripts on it. It's important to note that all of the functionality in this system up to this point, the copy, the paste, the save to inventory, the publish to the repository of objects, the group and ungroup and duplicate, this scripting feature works correctly with all of that. If you put scripts on a group, you've got scripts on a group. It'll work just like you expect. If you've got scripts on an object inside a group, you've got scripts on an object inside a group. It'll work exactly as you expect. If you copy and paste, it'll work exactly the way it should. So that's it for scripting. And at some point in the future, we'll talk a lot more about how you could do much more complex things with scripting.